All right, so I just want to quickly explain how to do a mole ratio because you have to do it in your homework quiz. So these were two of the equations that we balanced before. I'm going to do it real quick again just to make sure we understand how to do that. Again, if I have three oxygens on the left and two oxygens on the right, I'm probably just going to multiply by the opposite to get a least common multiple of 6. And then I have 2 KCl, 2 potassiums, 2 chlorines on both sides. So this is balanced, but you also have to understand how to use a balanced equation. The reason why we balance an equation is if I told you you had 4 moles of your potassium, and this is called a chlorate actually, that potassium ClO3, right? Whatever you want to call it, is potassium chloride. And you wanted to know how much oxygen you could produce doing this reaction, you can find out by using a mole ratio, because for every 3 moles of oxygen, you need 2 moles of that KClO3 to react. So you set up a ratio like this, and you're going to multiply, and the label of moles KClO3 cancels out and leaves you only with moles of oxygen. And then you just multiply by 3, divide by 2, you get an answer. So this is the way you're supposed to do it. This is not the way you always have to do it. Right? 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 2 is 6 moles of oxygen. The other thing you can actually do is just change this number here to a 4 instead of a 2, which doubled it, right? So really I just need to double everything else. Excuse me. If I start out with 4 moles of KClO3, I'm going to end up with 6 moles of oxygen, and you can see that right away. That's pretty easy to do. These are ratios, they are proportional, right? The mole amounts of these two things are proportional. So you can use that if you want to, right? It just doesn't always work. Because the other thing I can do, let's try this other one down below. Again, I gotta balance the sulfates. So I need a 3 over here. That means I actually have 6 lithiums on both sides. 2 aluminums over here. This is a 1. So in this case, let's say I started out with 1.25 moles of lithium. And I wanted to know how many moles of aluminum were going to be produced after this reaction's over. Now, this time it's not as easy. Right? 1.25 isn't a whole number. I can't just plug that in and start balancing everything else. This is why you need to learn how to use a ratio. So you're really going to do the same thing as you did above. Right? I want a new label, so I'll put the 2 moles of aluminum, the thing that I wanted to know, on top, and then I'll put the 6 moles of lithium down below, right? Because for every 6 moles of lithium, 2 moles of aluminum are produced. I can use this ratio, multiply by 2, divide by 6, and I'm not going to get a nice clean number, but I can do that real quick on my calculator. And I'm going to get a 0.41666 repeating. And since I only need 3 sig figs, I'll just answer it with 0.417 moles of aluminum for an answer. So that question's definitely in this homework quiz, and that's something you need to know how to do. I know there's a lot of stuff in this section. You'll figure it out, right? Just keep plowing through one thing at a time, and we should be good.